in Palm Beach. Marc Lamont Hill, professor at Columbia University and a contributor to TheRoot.com. We're going to ask them more about this near miss by terrorists. We're going to ask.
I'd like to hear what Rahm Emanuel says to her.
Well, perhaps he'll come on and tell us at some point. Yeah, right. Okay. Mark, listen, let's be fair. When the president was in the midst of two wars, certainly in the year or so past 9/11 and every year of his administration thereafter, the president was attacked a lot on the terrorism and how he was handling it. And yet, when you hear it, it does have a dissonance to it. Is there any way to kind of squeeze the politics out of this?
No, this is thoroughly, and it's completely political here, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the nature of the political moment. When we look at what happened during the Bush years, people attacked the way President Bush was prosecuting the war. We may have said that he overreacted to 9/11 in terms of going into Iraq. I mean, there were all sorts of critiques coming from the left, but nobody really suggested, there was no public critique from former presidents or vice presidents suggesting that it was the president's behavior that started the war or instigated terrorism. But that's exactly what Dick Cheney is saying, which to me is completely misguided. I mean, you would think that President Obama was in Amsterdam, you know, giving out visas or letting a guy on the plane. I mean, there was nothing the Obama administration could do to stop this guy from getting on a plane. And Ben, I think we might actually agree on this point. Tightening up security, making the bureaucracy operate more efficiently is the key. And if we do that, we don't necessarily need, in fact, we don't need to profile. We don't need to ethnically and religiously and culturally profile. In this case, we had 500,000 names on a tied list. If we had simply put those people on a no-fly list, we wouldn't need to profile. The guy wouldn't have gotten on a plane in the first place. So instead of operating under the presumption that we need more profiling, all we need to do is get the pieces that are currently in place to operate more efficiently.
Mark, we will be right back with all four of you right after a really quick
Ben
break.
Doesn't agree with
Mark?
I disagree with everything he just said, but I do.
I'm so surprised.
You always do.
I'm surprised.
He always does.
Fair enough, fair enough. But what I do share is your pessimism. I don't have much good news for 2010. I think that Barack Obama has expended so much political capital on health care, and the health care bill that we've gotten is all the teeth have been taken out of it, so I'm not very optimistic about where that's going to go. It's going to pass, but it's going to be a very, very watered down bill with no public option, obviously. And none of the other things.
People are going to be mad.
Well, reference what Tom. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, and people will very much be mad, at least on the left. But what you'll also see is moderate Democrats continuing to scramble away from Barack Obama, particularly because it's an election year, it's a midterm election year, and people are not going to want to stand next to him as he loses more and more political capital, particularly around this issue of cap and trade. Cap and trade is not going to go through, even though it'd be wonderful for the environment and wonderful for the economy. Moderate Democrats are going to run from it. And then in terms of foreign policy, I think we just may find ourselves with a major problem with Iran. Ahmadinejad seems to be committed to developing uranium. He seems committed to ignoring Sarkozy, Brown, and Obama, no matter how tough they scowl their faces at the press conferences. It seems to me that we're going to have a major problem with Iran, that we're going to continue to have problems in Afghanistan, that we're going to continue to have major problems with Iraq, and that we're going to really have no good news. And Republicans, sadly, just may gain some significant ground in the midterms in next November.
Holy cow, we may not want to ring in this new year. Let me ask you, let me move on to, I guess the question here is, the question we started out the year, has the president, with all that political capital, overplayed his hand?
Absolutely.
Really? Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, he's absolutely overplayed his hand. He kind of came in riding the wave of his own awesomeness. It seemed like he never actually read press clippings. I mean, and I agreed with the healthcare initiative, but when you looked at the town hall meetings last summer, when you looked at what everyday American people, or at least a certain sector of American people were saying, it was almost as if Obama didn't understand that people didn't like him. The fact that he had done 110 interviews and 110 talks on healthcare and American people weren't persuaded, it showed that people like him, but they didn't find his argument persuasive. It was almost as if he said, if they just see my face one more time and listen to me one more time, they'll be convinced. That's the type of Obama mentality and the type of Rahm Emanuel mentality that I think has undermined Obama's effectiveness this year. I hope they learn that lesson in 2010 by not having so many unprecedented moments and not having so many such a need to put Obama in front.
Tanya, I'm going to give you 20 seconds because you were shaking your head. Okay, well, thank heavens there's some light there. Ben Stein, Tanya Acker, Terry Holt, Marc Lamont Hill, I cannot thank you enough. Happy New Year all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.